just gonna turn my mic on so they can hear me, but they can't hear you yet. So it's all a mystery. They're like, "Ooh, what's going on?" We're supposed to be live now, but we're waiting on Cash, so Cash is always late to the party. Oh, Cash is back. Hold on, hold on. As soon as he's, oh no. All right, I'm gonna turn on the audio for you guys too,
Okay.
and we're gonna go live in three, two. What's up, guys?
Hi.
I'm so happy
All
to be here
right.
right now.
This is
Hi
gonna be
there.
exciting, man.
It is. It's gonna be fan freaking
Is
tastic.
there audio? I don't know. Someone has to tell me right now. Is the audio coming across? Because this is the first show, and
Is there
I
audio?
don't trust Jeff.
Mm, 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 mm.
Someone else tell me
I
if there's
don't blame
audio.
you.
Oh, Duris. Yeah. Ah, I'm super quiet. That usually doesn't happen. Here, let me turn that up. There we go. That should be better. All right. So, thanks for tuning in, folks. This is the first show of Grab Your Ale and Share Your Tale. Basically, what I want to do here, yeah, you like the title, right?
I
That
do.
was awesome. I didn't know that was coming. That was well done.
Yeah, yeah. So, just one thing, a little bit of background is that, we got Jibbs and Cash, Jibbs in the middle, Cash on the right. Um, since Jibbs and Cash started up the Lore Seekers Guild, I've noticed a very large number of people joining in that you get to know from first starting a group with them, getting the game with them, jumping in and just talking on Discord, stuff like that. And it's just interesting to me to meet, some of these people, get to know them, and just kind of chit chat about things. And it's amazing the things you learn about people when you just sit there and play the game. You're just having a casual conversation, and it's amazing, the different walks of life everyone comes from. It's pretty cool. So, what I want to do on this channel is, and on this stream here that we're doing, is we're going to go ahead and showcase some of the people in not only the Lore Seekers, but just throughout Elder Scrolls. Anyone that wants to be a participant on the show, you can direct message me either on Discord, or you can friend me on Twitch and message me that way. Either way, um, and we'll work something out. I have a lineup right now of the Lore Seekers PC guild leadership, the PS4 guild leadership I'm working on, and the Xbox guild leadership as well. So we got at least a couple weeks worth of content lined up right now. So I'm looking forward to that. So, like I said, we have Jibs in the middle and Cash on the right there. And just to let you guys know, if you don't feel comfortable answering any of the questions, just pass. And if you keep passing, I'm just going to nix you out of the show.
Pass.
Pass,
Should
pass.
that should pass shouldn't even be an option.
Pass.
All right, Cash, give us your full name, your date of birth, social security number.
Oh crap! Let me write this down.
I passed on the first thing you asked for.
No.
Social
All right.
security, go.
So we're gonna start with Jibs here, and
Okay.
so Jibs, if you don't mind, the first question: where did you come up with the name Jibs for your character?
Cash gave it to me, actually.
It's,
So
it's true.
when I joined Mog in 2012, everyone's like, "Oh, this is the first time I met Cash ever," and I'm like, "Oh, that's such a cool name." And then you're meeting people like Cytheria, which later became Pip, and then Sarastro, and then Scuba Steve, and I'm like, "Wow, all these cool names." And I couldn't think of any, so I went with JB, which are my initials, and later it became Jibbs. This is something that Cash started using, and then it just kind of stuck. And I'm like, "Oh, I actually have a nickname now. Cool."
There you
With
go.
that.
It's a
Easy
So
enough.
nickname on a nickname.
So you never had any other kind of handle before JB or Jibs? You just kind of
Uh, nope.
no.
No, not really.
All
No,
right, all right. That's cool.
nope. That's my first.
Yeah. And then Cash, same to you. What made you pick Cash as your handle?
Well, I'm pretty sure if there's any investigators watching or anybody with any investigative properties, they can probably figure it out just by looking at this video
Yeah, right on the
and
back wall there. Yeah,
what's behind me.
the guy flipping us off throughout the
The guy
entire
flipping
video.
you off and making your stream PG-13 right
Yes,
now.
we just bumped it
Um,
up to PG-13. Thanks, Cash.
yeah, so I used to have my old handle for other games used to be lunatic, and it was spelt a little bit differently. It's because that at work that was my in my younger years that was my nickname, was the lunatic. So I kind of morphed that into my game name, and then once I went to SWOTOR, I really liked the character Agent Kalar,
Hmm.
and he's one of the Jedi that was killed during the Clone Wars movie, but he was just a really cool character. So I wanted to take the last name Kalar and try to find a first name that matched. So, and because I'm a Johnny Cash fan and a big fan of music, I decided to go with Cash with a K. And then my name in SWOTOR ended up being Cash Kalar. And then I just kind of kept Cash. It's a little easier to get than just regular Cash with a C in game names. And now, like Mog Cash, just because of our affiliations with Mog Nation, became my first name.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So anyway, that's the origins of my name.
All
It's
right.
so mysterious.
I know, I know. It was.
So metal.
I never spelt it right when we first started hanging out. I spelt it with a C, just like Johnny Cash, because I thought that's what you were going for.
Well, I
So,
still spell your name Orchid.
yeah,
So
yeah, Orchid.
yeah. So there's that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I guess since this is the first one, I'll actually be answering some of these questions too. So, Orchid was the first gaming name I ever created, and it was done by a random name generator in Star Wars Galaxies, and it was Orchid Spiky was the name, and he was my main character, and I just stuck. I just went with it. And just like Cash, everyone would call me Orchid. I'm like, it's not Orchid, it's Orchid. Quit calling me Flower. And then one day, this guy I'm playing with, he goes, no, did you know that's a flower? And I'm like, no, it's not an orchid, it's an orchid. He goes, no, no, look it up on Google. It's another dialect. I forget which language it is. Its translation is an orchid. So I'm like, oh, great. I've been running around this whole time with my name as a flower.
Well, you are. I mean, in a lot of ways, you really are a budding
Yeah,
flower.
so
You
yes,
are a
I
budding flower.
Yeah.
All right. So, and if you guys don't mind, you don't have to share your last name, but what's first name? So that way we can be on a first name basis through the stream now.
I am Jordan.
Jordan.
Yep.
Operational security.
Ah, you're
Jeez.
fine. It's a pretty
I'm Mike.
generic name.
I am Mike.
Yeah.
Common spelling Michey.
Mitchie?
Mitchie.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Mitchie.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention your name is Cashley. That was interesting to hear that earlier today. That might catch
Yeah.
on.
Cashley. Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to.
Yeah. And of course, I'm Tim. Some people know me as that, but mostly as Orchid. And we won't go into last names or anything. So,
Good, because I'm not giving it to
because you know me and Cash will giggle like schoolgirls. So
you. Yeah, we don't need to. No,
yeah,
we're good.
yeah. We're all right.
Yeah,
Well, let's
Jeff.
keep going.
Jeff thinks our names are Yogi and Boo Boo.
Deal.
Appreciate that.
All right. So, and then I know this is asking stuff, and you're not going to be comfortable, but where are you guys from? You don't have to
Indiana.
say specific state. There you go, Indiana.
I'm in Southern California.
Oh, that was way too narrow. Well, now we know
Yeah.
so much about you. You're in trouble. And if you haven't guessed, I go by the handle AZTimmy. So I'm in Arizona. My name is Tim. Yeah, I don't practice OPSEC anymore. uh, let's see. So, gosh, man. You know, I just had a vision of how this interview was going to be going, and it was kind of like we were off to a good start, and now I'm kind of losing track here. I'm going to have to go to my questions here. Um, So let's get to know Jibbs a little bit here. So Jibbs, so what is it that you do, Jibbs? I know, but the people watching don't.
Like my profession,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
real life profession.
yeah. What do you do? What do you do? Like either work related? What do you do for hobbies? Stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I can give you hobbies.
All right.
Graphic design. I picked that up.
Yes.
I started fiddling around in Photoshop, and it was like 2010. Just I was I would skip church and go into this room that had a computer that had Photoshop on it, and so I hung out in there and I taught myself graphic work,
That's
and
awesome.
so that's that's how I got started,
Yeah.
and then obviously podcasting became a pretty big part of that, but I know we'll probably talk about that a little bit later, but so yeah, just a couple things there.
Yeah.
Cash has got a couple hobbies. He likes to garden
Yeah. He's big
I
time
do.
gardener.
and shave his head on the
That's not
weekends.
a hobby. It's more of a necessity.
That's it.
I have to
Maybe,
be aerodynamic.
I think if ever one day I shave the beard, I'll donate the hair to Cash so that way he has something to put up there. So
Ugh.
There you
Ugh.
no, that wouldn't be pretty up there.
go.
All right, Cash. So what do you got? What do you do besides work all the time?
Okay, so and I guess I've kind of alluded to it in the podcast, so I don't see any reason not to say it here. But I work both in fire and law enforcement. Um, I work for a local fire department here as a captain and paramedic, and I work with the local sheriff's department as a reserve deputy and arson investigator, and do some other cool stuff over there. So it's funny because I had to go to the sheriff's department to do all the cool stuff in my career.
Yeah. Man, you're
No, but
you're giving out a lot more info than I thought you would on this show. You're just
yeah,
let's
well,
let it all throw it out there and see how it sticks.
it's about as far as it's gonna go.
All right. No, so a little background. Me and Cash have known each other for a very long time. So
Hmm.
back in the day of beta, were you in beta with us, Jibbs? I can't remember now. Of
No,
Sotor. Okay.
no, I was gonna join, but then I'm like, well, it's dad's, and I wasn't a dad yet, so I
Yeah.
didn't think I could join, so I didn't join.
We wouldn't have let you in.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
It
that's
was
that's fair. I wouldn't have let
exclusive,
me in.
very exclusive club. So yeah, what was it, 7 or 8 years ago, back when Sortor was not even in beta, like I joined a guild called Old Republic Dads, and it was just a casual guild based on family atmosphere. I mean, it was
Right.
family friendly. They were very lenient about, you taking a priority of real life over gaming, which is a huge thing that has continued on in Mog Nation, which I'll get to in a minute. But there's a lot of stuff that way back then that really appealed to me when I first joined that guild. Cash joined that guild as well, and that's where we first met. Was 7 or 8 years ago, playing Sortor together. And from Old Republic Dads, Cash had an idea. He wanted to create something new, not just a guild based uh, for Sortor, but a community, a gaming community. So Cash was one of the founders of Mog Nation. So you'll see that in my Twitch stream down below. Is Mog Nation is something that we're all still a part of. We love Mog Nation. It's very much geared around the family person, the working person. It's very casual. No one's expected to be online for sure every Thursday, 7 o'clock, or else you're out of the guild. There's no mentality like that at all. So we try to keep that. And then going into a little more information, Jibbs and Cash, as some may know, are the creators of the Lore Seeker podcast, which I think I have a link down there as well to the guild. But if you also check out the other tabs, you can check out the episodes of Lore Seekers podcast that they have already posted, which they're already at number 15, which is crazy. I've been listening it from the first one up until now, and it's just gotten better and better over time. It's so entertaining. I actually, so one of my big things was I've always been science fiction, Star Wars esque type fan base. I've never gotten into any fantasy game until now because of what they're doing with the Lore Seekers podcast. It's interested me, and I'm learning a lot, and I have so much fun listening to their episodes and being entertained by those two working together. So I'm really glad they're on here right now, helping me
Thanks,
with
man.
this. So
Yeah, shoot. For starters, we'll help you with anything, with any project you got going, and that goes
yeah,
for anybody. That's kind of what we've always been about, even with Mog Nation, is just showcasing what people do, and I mean, for all intents and purposes, we were the little guys at Mog too, and we never were shooting for. Well, I guess at one time we were shooting to be more of a grand guild, and it just always ended up being just this core group of people. So we've been trying to just take that core group of people and push what they have going on as well, above and beyond the projects that we have going on. And just like Lore Seekers. Lore Seekers is Jibbs and I's kind of recent
Baby.
foray.
We had a baby.
Yeah, we had a love child.
The Ring of Mara happened, and we had a baby.
out of
No, the
wedlock,
Ring of Mara
out of
hasn't
wedlock.
happened,
Let's
but
mention that they still haven't gotten married. So
yeah, but I
Costs
mean,
too
this
much
is
money.
this is our current project, and we've always tried to have a project going. I think ever since
Yeah.
we've had a few different podcasts on our own, and then we did a couple podcasts together, and we've grown. I wouldn't have grown if it weren't for Jibbs, because he's a very, very talented dude in everything that he does, and he puts the face on what we do. I just put the kind of semi PG 13ish, rated R jokes and stuff that we do.
You put all the edits.
Yeah, I put all the edits in, and it's actually pretty funny when we're recording a show and I'll blurp out something. I'll be like, "Have fun with that edit."
It
But
happens.
yeah, and that, to kind of get back to my point is, we would love to help anybody who's part of our community with any project they have going on. So if you guys are streaming, we'll pop in and say hello on your streams and do whatever we can to help you out. But that's kind of what we've always been about in everything that we've touched.
yep. Yeah, and it's awesome. I've had a lot of help setting up this Twitch stream. I'm gonna shout out right now, Duris. Let me shout him out here because Duris has helped me a lot through setting up the Twitch streams, the way it looks, the way things are configured. He's done a lot to help me out with all this stuff and helping with the creativity side of everything. Jibbs has been an inspiration with the way he does editing. Cash with the amount of time and effort he puts into all the episodes doing research and everything. I mean, it's absolutely awesome working with these guys and learning all this stuff and trying something new. So I'm glad to be here. It's been a great success so far, I think, and I love what's been built here. So,
It's awesome.
all right, so we got off track. I'm gonna mention one thing here, in case no one can read it. The Who's Your Daddy Beard Company. That's a side gig of Jibbs himself. So, if you need to maintain
I approve of that shirt.
the mane, you gotta check out that site.
You know what though? You were one of the last ones to get stuff because currently I'm all sold out.
Oh no!
So consider yourself blessed
Yes.
because you're wearing the last shirt
Create the
that has
orders.
been sold.
It's on back order. Sorry, folks.
Can I let you in on a little secret, since we're talking about podcast wear?
Yeah.
Jibbs usually likes to podcast in his boxers.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
throwing that out there.
Well, I'm not going to tell you anything, but I may or may not be wearing pants
It's
right
great
now.
air conditioning. It's fantastic.
So is that the main reason
comfortable.
why you guys won't do a live recording of your podcast? You're afraid Jibbs is just going
No.
to do one of these little oh crap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise a leg and just hey.
Hey.
Yeah, he's gonna get up to go get a drink and forget that he's on camera. And all of a sudden, you're gonna see his Superman boxers.
That's awesome.
That's the
No,
thing.
we actually, you know what? I think that's a good point. I think we should bring that up. Jibbs, I think you're probably the best to answer this question. How come we haven't jumped into the Twitch foray yet?
Okay, so a lot of people have been asking. So reason why we don't do Twitch, one, we want to protect the magic. We want to keep that hidden. We want to keep it secret. That's kind of that's who we are in a lot of ways, and the way that we do things, the way that we do them, and we don't want to ever. I've seen where shows become very transparent, and as a result, they kind of lose some of the magic, and some of the things that you appreciate about the show, you may not realize until after you see how we do it. And so that's one reason why we don't do that, is because we want to protect the magic, protect everything that happens behind the scenes, and keep that separate. Two, Cash and I both, we did Level Up Morning Show, and one of the things that we wanted to do when we were organizing and preparing the show was, hey, let's do a Twitch stream. Cool. So we did the Twitch stream. Well, here's what we found out. Whenever you are juggling two things, if it's an audio show, a lot of times you can get distracted, mainly because of what happens in the chat channels. Cash, I remember distinctly, was making a great point, and I just so happened to be dealing with, there was a troll that entered the chat at the moment. This is while we're streaming, while we're recording, and so I ended up looking over, completely disregarding anything he was saying, and I had to deal with what was happening in chat. Well, as a result, the show suffers. The show suffered because I wasn't able to carry on the conversations like Cash and I do. And I think that's one reason why a lot of people enjoy our shows, is because, and we've heard this before, Cash, it's genuine. Our relationship is genuine. It's not, like, hey, I picked up this co-host, I really don't know him very much, blah, blah, blah. No, Cash and I have been doing this together for years, and friendship for years. And so it's important. I like to say it's important to make sure that, one, we keep everything kind of secret, what we do, but also, two, to really make sure we're giving you the best possible show. And what I mean by that is that we're focused, and when we're doing our shows, when we're recording them, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, a lot of layers. Cash talks about, I was an inspirational. Hey, I appreciate that because it's very kind of you. But two, that guy puts a ton of work in getting Lore Seekers up and running. Lore Seekers would be about 25%. It'd only be it'd be 75% less if Cash wasn't involved, because of the work that he puts in with the show notes, and he gets the lore lessons ready. That's his baby, and I purposely do not read those when we're going into a show. Very rarely will I read, like the Dark Brotherhood. I was all about that. That was hot. I like that stuff. And but most of the time I go in completely blind, because I want to experience it as the listener, and be able to provide commentary and questions. And I know it's a little more than what you asked, but so that's long reason. That's it. We keep it secret.
Yeah, it keeps the mystery alive. So,
But we both we play off of each other, in not just on the show, but we play off each other too with our skill sets. I love researching lore, and I love to write. So for me, at the same time, this is my little trade secret. At the same time I'm writing the show notes, I'm also writing the lore lessons that go up on our website. So everything that we talk about in the show goes up on the website. Sometimes you can catch it a little bit early, but it goes up there. And then at the same time, that's what I love to do. That's like my little corner of the show. And Jibbs's corner of the show is pretty much everything else. He puts the face on our show. He does an incredible job with editing, and every pretty thing that you see that is our website, it's pretty much Jibbs.
Yeah.
So, we complement each other in the things that we enjoy doing, but at the same time we're skilled at doing. And if you don't love what you're doing, the end product is going to suck. It's going to come out, and people are going to, it's palpable
genuine.
that people can see what's going on. And, when you lose interest in something, they can definitely see it. So
Right.
do I want to be on Twitch? I would love to be on Twitch. I don't have any interest in, being a partner streamer or anything, even though I think it would be freaking awesome. And the reason being is because myself, I lose the focus of enjoying my games when I'm having to kind of go back and forth. And I just don't think I'm that kind of a person to be able to do that. Guys like you, Tim, you're nailing it. Like, you can handle that stuff. That's why I have so much respect for people who stream full time, because that's a tough gig to do. And there's a lot of people that are just so good at, they put on a production when they stream, and to put on the content that we're doing with the podcast and some of the things that we want to do in the future, there's no stop your giggly laugh. There
It's
is
so good.
there's no
It's
way
so
we'd have
good.
there's no way we'd have time to
Yeah.
do it all. You know what I mean? So for us, we kind of, because we both have families and full-time jobs, and we have to really pick the things that we choose to dive into head first. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any game time, and then you guys would all figure it out because we'd be like, oh yeah, I played an
Yeah.
hour this week, or I didn't have any time to play because I was doing this. That's not a fun place to be. And the only reason I say that is because we have both been there with our content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see a little one in the
Yeah, yeah.
background.
So that's another thing to keep in mind is, like we talked about, Mog Nation is a family-oriented, so is Lore Seekers. Hey,
Right.
come here. Come here, come here. Come here. What's up?
Yeah, we don't think it's normal if there's not kids
I
screaming in
know.
the background.
This is what we do. We're family first. We're not gamers first. We're not professional streamers. We're not professional podcasters or anything like that. It's just, hey, girl. Okay, good. Go back in there and watch me, okay? Thanks. We got one more viewer. Kids are watching me in the other channel, so keep it PG-13, please. I'm looking at you,
That was
Jeff.
aimed at me.
Yeah.
That was
Jeff, too, in the chat there.
You say JB? What? I'm innocent. I so swear.
All right. So, that's awesome, and I appreciate what you said there, Cash, and I really think you guys are doing an awesome job. I'm going to reel it back in. We're going to get to the next part of this. I kind of wanted to break this up into a few different segments here. So we got a good feel for who's Jibbs and Cash. I kind of want to learn what got you guys into gaming. So we'll start with Cash first this time. So what is the first game you ever played?
oh my.
I know that's a
God.
tough one because you
crap.
really
No,
you got
I know
time
what
to
it
think
is.
about it.
This
Oh,
is
no,
where
no.
his age comes in.
I know what it is, but it's going to age me.
All right.
I'm not joking you. My dad came home with a Pong game
Yeah.
years and years ago. And I'm not going to lie. I thought it was stupid. I'm like, Pong? This what?
Until
I
you
wanted to
played
be
it.
outside. I was a kid that was outside playing.
Yeah.
But I would say after that, I definitely moved on. I had a ColecoVision. I ended up with an old Apple computer. And then from there, it was old school Nintendo. And I went from, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one of my buddies chirping the siren in front of my house. I love him. Anyway, from there, I went to, I've pretty much had every single console. And then once I would say I really discovered PC gaming about 1998. And oh my God, I'm getting old. It was 1998 when I discovered it. And the one game that I started playing was Baldur's Gate. That
Oh,
was like
yes.
the reason for me to get a
I
PC.
loved that game.
Oh my God. And that was like, okay, this I can do. I love this fantasy thing. And I started diving into fantasy games. And then my foray into online games started with World War II Online.
Oh, really?
I was majorly addicted to World War II Online. And once I discovered that I could fire a weapon into somebody else's face and know that their screen went red and black and they were going to be really mad, that was it. And I was absolutely connected and hooked to
Oh,
online games.
You were a troll from the start. Yes, I'm gonna
I was a
shoot you
troll
in
from the
head.
start. And I wasn't even that good at it, but World War II Online right off the bat, it was pretty hard to get a single kill. I mean, you're talking a game where it took you 15 minutes to get to the battlefront.
Yeah.
And once you got to the battlefront, you had to really hide and like sneak around. And we did a lot of clandestine stuff behind enemy lines, and it was a blast. And I fell in love with it. And from there, online gaming for me went through the roof. I think from there, I dove back into fantasy, and I went to Dark Age of Camelot, Shadowbane, played a lot of those games. But the one game, you guys know what it is, that I will always love and always treasure because I've had the most fun in gaming was Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh yes, that was.
That game for me is the pinnacle
Yeah.
of everything I've ever played.
That was my ultimate first ever MMO, and that was the first time I was ever addicted to a game. Because I started out, and my first game. Well, let's go to Jibbs first. I'm gonna let you do this, and then I'll go into mine. So, Jibbs, what was probably the first game you ever played?
Mario.
Is it really?
Mario.
That's
That was
because
my
that's because
on
Jibbs is
Nintendo.
18.
Yeah.
I wish.
Jibbs is
Had
still
less
a young
problems
buck.
back then.
Happy birthday! You can vote.
No. Yeah, it was Mario, and it just kind of like Cash, short version, just about every system after that. Um, yeah, and then I got into. I'll never forget the moment I played Morrowind, and I'm an Xbox guy. Sorry, PS4 people. I'm a huge Xbox guy when I'm not playing PC. So for me, I picked up Morrowind. It was the Game of the Year edition. I think it had been out for a while because it was on the $20 bin at Walmart. I'm like, what's this? And I hopped in, and the rest was history. That was the first time I'd ever played an open world title, and so many hours. Like I just found a love and a joy and a genuine curiosity about the world of Tamriel back then. And then I remember Oblivion came out and sunk hours and hours into that.
Yeah.
Kind of skipped Skyrim, and then
You s-
eventually,
Wait. You skipped
kinda,
Skyrim,
Yeah.
but
I
you're
have
playing it now. I know that for
I,
sure.
I am a little, yeah. It's one of those things where it's a great game, hands down. But I don't connect with it for whatever reason. Like I connect with Oblivion.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the visuals. I'll never forget the moment I exited the sewers for the very first time in Oblivion, and you just see this world open in front of you, and you get the vibe like, oh my gosh, this is living, this is breathing, and I can go all the way over there if I want to. I can run all the way over here if I want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And I know Skyrim has that, but for me, Oblivion is always kind of like when Morrowind and Oblivion are always probably my two favorite RPG games.
I'm gonna
hands down.
throw down the gauntlet for you right now.
Oh, crap.
Before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, you must finish Skyrim.
Oh. Oh my gosh.
It's totally doable.
Well,
Like,
and we
there's
don't
people
know
out
when
there
it's
that
gonna come out. It could be until next year sometime. So you got plenty
Oh,
of
I
time.
would say I'd say we have about
Okay.
2 years
Yeah.
until that
I'll
comes
take
out.
you up on that,
Yeah.
but here, you have to do something in return.
Oh god.
You have to actually sit down and play Sea of Thieves with me. For
Oh my gosh.
eight
Dude, I play
hours.
ESO. I play ESO.
I don't care what you play. You, no. This is the banter that happens, but
Okay.
all right, fine. I'll play Skyrim.
All
Do
right.
I just have to do the main quest or the whole thing?
No,
like
I want you to enjoy it. I don't want it to be torture for you.
well,
Play the
I
game.
I enjoy it, but when I get on, I have that mod, that one with the hunters thing, where you're shooting and you get extra money for the pelts. Like that's my thing. I can log in and I
Yeah, fully
Hunt.
modded.
hunt animals.
Doesn't have to be the base game. Fully modded. Just hop in
Okay.
there and play that story. And play
Okay.
through the Dark Brotherhood and play through the Thieves Guild and tell me what you think. It's
Okay.
epic. It's so epic. You will tie in so much lore that we're both learning together now into Skyrim if you play it. Guarantee you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. There you go.
You heard it here,
The
folks.
gauntlet is
You-
down.
You heard it first.
Oh man, yeah. So and I guess I'm kind of bagging on you guys for certain games and stuff like that. But as far as fantasy games, mine, gosh, what was my first one? I don't even remember now. I think it was Dark Age. No, it must have
Did you
been.
play? Did you play Camelot?
I don't remember now. I can't remember which game it was.
Hello Kitty Online?
Yeah, Hello Kitty Online Adventures. Yes, that was it. I used to play that all the time, so no. All right, so my first game ever was my parents were very tech savvy, and they brought home one of those big metal cased computers with a green screen that you had to type every command in to do everything, and I learned how to play Wheel of Fortune on a green screen Unix computer. That was the
Oh,
very first game, dude.
that sounds terrible.
That's why I got into IT, I think, is because I started out in something so way back in the day before people were playing, Atari and stuff like that. I was already playing on a home PC my dad used for work and doing commands
Nice.
just to play a game. So, but yeah, after that we had an Atari, we had a Nintendo, um, we got a regular PC. I think one of the first games that I really got addicted to was Mario as well. I had to sit there and make sure no one turned off the NES so that way I can save where I was at and keep playing the levels. And I would get mad when my sister would power it off just to make me mad. So, uh, what else was there?
Family.
Yeah. Um, there was some other things too. The first computer I bought myself, the first game I got into was Age of Empire, the very first edition of it. So the
Nice.
real time strategy game that was my go to. Couple guys would play. Uh, was it? Gosh, was it Quake? No, I don't remember now. There's so many different games. It gets all blurred together over the years, but yes, the first MMO was Star Wars Galaxies. I spent years playing that game, even after they did the combat enhancements and
Yeah.
all the other stuff they did. I stayed in that game for a very long time. And then even when they were closing down shop and they were getting ready to shut down servers, I went back on for a couple months right before they shut down just to see what it was like. I didn't like it anymore, but at least I got on there and checked it out. So, um, but yeah, I guess right now, as far as fantasy stuff, I never played any of the newer fantasy things until Skyrim, and that's what really got me into Elder Scrolls Online because I love the idea of going around and doing those quests and everything, but I love the online aspect and playing with other people. So when they came out with Elder Scrolls, I jumped on it when it was in beta. I played for 2 weeks and I was like, I'm not too interested in right now. So I actually left, started playing other games, and you guys know me. I bump into or I jump into Mog like once every year, say hi, see what's going on, and then end up going to play some single player game or whatever. But what is it now? 4 months later, still playing ESO, still learning, having a lot of fun playing this game. So I don't see anything until maybe mm, probably Fallout 76 that is probably going to take my attention
Ooh.
away.
Ooh.
Which, yeah, we'll be
I
talking
can't
about.
believe you brought that up.
We'll talk
Jeez.
about that later.
He went there, bro.
It's gonna have to take a little bit of my attention away. So, um, all right. So we got some background of how you guys got into gaming, some of the games you played, stuff like that. But here's the tough question: if you had to pick only one game to play for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Star Wars Galaxies.
You
I've
said
never
that
played it,
really.
but Cash is going, so Star Wars Galaxies.
Oh my gosh, the
That's true
original one.
friendship. That's friendship.
The
Blind trust is
yeah,
what that is.
the
Yeah, no,
original.
it's funny because Jibbs and I talk about it, and it's like, I love the world of Elder Scrolls, and I always have ever since the first time I stepped foot in Morrowind. I've loved that world. And I've been back and forth to Elder Scrolls Online several times, as I've talked about in the podcast. But my love will always start and stop with Star Wars. It's it's just what I grew up with. I know it probably better than anything. Actually, by the time we get done with a lot of these lore lessons, I might know Elder Scrolls more. But my true dream is that somebody out there is making the Star Wars MMO of my dreams.
Yeah.
It's somebody out there is making it, they're dreaming it, they're thinking it. It might not be this year, it might not be next year, it might not be for 5, 10 years down the road. But that game is out there, and it's SWOTOR is aging.
Yeah.
It's aging,
Yeah.
and it's not aging
And
gracefully.
it's not getting enough good content or
Right.
enough to keep you
Yes.
engaged in it. See that,
Yeah.
and I think you hit it. And you know what? I think now that I think about it, I had a different game pick, but I would do Star Wars Galaxies too because there's so much that went into that game where that was the original. Hey, build your house, style it, put stuff in there, all your
Right.
knickknacks and trophies, and design it. I mean, I remember, gosh, who was it? I can't remember. There's someone that used to like do designs and stuff like that for those houses, and I remember one day I was working with this girl, and we built a fish tank in Star Wars Galaxies, and people came by, they looked at it, and they're like, "Can you guys build that in my house too?" So we started going into people's houses, building these fish tanks for them, and they would pay us, in-game currency for that or whatever. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it
cool.
it was pretty cool doing that stuff, and I don't know, there was so much into that game.
Yeah, it was the ultimate Star Wars sandbox. And I think some of the most fun I had was getting in groups and sitting in the med centers. I was a master doctor. So I would sit in the med centers and just heal folks when they came in from battle.
Yep.
And we would get into just telling tales, and you'd hear them talk about their adventures out there in the galaxy. And it was so nerdy. It was so incredibly nerdy, but I had so much fun doing it. And that was just a snapshot of what I did. And then there was the whole Jedi system, which they made it so mysterious because at the time period they chose, it was a time period where there were not very many Jedi in the world anymore.
Hmm.
They were extremely rare. So you had to do all kinds of things in game. It was kind of a secret to what you had to do. Nobody really knew. And then somebody unlocked the first Jedi. And the first time in that game that I saw a Jedi running through town, I was blown away. And
Yeah.
in that game, the second if you were a Jedi, is a very secretive thing. So if you pulled out your lightsaber in town, you immediately ended up on the bounty
Yep.
boards, and now you're getting hunted.
Yeah. Oh
So I
yeah.
remember that as one of the coolest things that I ever saw was the first Jedi that pulled out his lightsaber, and that thing comes open. I was like, oh my god, there's one in the game. There he is. And then
And he'd sit there
um,
and throw it, and it'd go spinning around everywhere. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, people kind of started to figure it out a little bit. Well, a year later, I unlocked my own Jedi slot.
Hmm.
And I'll never forget, I had my daughter, who's 14 now. She was an infant sitting on my lap when I unlocked my Jedi. And no, I didn't drop her, but it was close. She was asleep. And I went bat crazy
Oh yeah.
because I was like, oh my God, there it is. A message flashed across your scene or your screen where I think it said like, you feel a strange connection to the force or something like that. I
Yeah.
just went, oh my God, I did it.
Oh man.
But it's just the joy that I got out of that game, and the systems that they had built into that game will never go away. That's the pinnacle of gaming for me.
Yeah.
So somewhere out there, I know it's happening. I know somebody is creating the next great Star Wars multiplayer MMO, and that will be probably what takes my attention away from anything that I'm playing at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. No, I've always, yeah, that game was very awesome, and I had so many memories of playing that game. And when they came out with SWTOR, I had such high hopes that it would be
Yeah,
very close
yep.
to what Star Wars Galaxy was, and it fell so short. So
It
I
is
was
way
pretty
too linear.
disappointed. Yeah. Yeah.
Way too linear.
All right. Yeah, we kind of trailed off there.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, so I think that's one thing that definitely me and Cash have a love for is Star Wars lore and the whole
Mm.
Star Wars saga. I mean, anyone that
Yeah.
knows me, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. That's my first and favorite thing. My son in the other room is named Luke because of Luke Skywalker. And in case you're wondering, when he was born, I did say, "Luke, I am your father."
That is
so
awesome.
so
And
that's
didn't you say something about sending him to Tashi Station
yeah,
to pick up
yeah.
some power
So
converters
yeah,
too?
whenever he gets upset or whatever, I'll tell him, "Wait, Luke, hold on. I need you to go to the Tashi station, pick up some power converters," and then he goes crazy. He hates it. So I love it. But there he is now. All right. So besides, let's trail off of Star Wars and Elder Scrolls, and what kind of genres do you guys generally play? I know there's the MMO stuff we all seem to love, but is there any kind of genre of game or type of game that you guys really focus on and like besides MMOs?
Hmm. Cash, you go ahead.
Um, yeah, for me, it's I really like open world shooters a lot. I think my favorite open world shooter of late is Ghost Recon Wildlands. That
Ooh.
game is amazing. I love that game, super fun. Um, but other than that, I would say open world fantasy RPG for sure.
Jibbs.
Like Dragon Age, Skyrim. I mean, you can't beat Skyrim. To
Yeah.
me, that's the pinnacle.
Did we lose Jibbs? He's just sitting there with
I think so. I'll keep
a
going. I
stick.
like The Witcher, The Witcher 3, outstanding game. Um, Other than that, I mean that's pretty much what I get drawn into. There's little parts of me that um like strategy RTS type games, and I usually stick with with a Warfront type game um Brothers in Arms or something like that, World War II.
Yeah.
I like that. There's a little part of me that likes flight sims,
Oh
World
yeah.
War II flight sims quite a bit. I'm just not any good at them at all,
So
but I
basically,
really do dig
basically
those.
any game on the market you're okay with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
All right, Jibbs. What is it besides MMOs that gets you going?
I like FPS. I
Do
like
you really?
card games. I do. Dude, my favorite game I'll never forget was Halo. Xbox,
Oh,
regular Xbox,
yeah.
Halo. I was so young at the time I couldn't buy it because it was mature, and I had to. We talked my friend's grandpa into buying it for us, and then we had
Felony.
LAN party after LAN party, and that was yeah. My love for shooters started then. I'm a
Oh,
huge shooters fan.
wait. Did your love for shooters start with GoldenEye? Because that's how you know you're a true
Okay.
FPS
Yeah,
player.
let's.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, it did.
I think
But
everybody started with
yeah,
that.
GoldenEye was dope, man. You have everybody over and you're just playing. But no, I'm also a big fan. I enjoy racing games, particularly like Forza
Oh,
Horizons.
okay.
Um, let's see what else. I love survival games. I love that aspect of trying to survive. So I play a lot of times in my off time from ESO. I'm playing Ark Survival Evolved on Xbox. We still play Rocket League here and there, but yeah, I'm big into FPS. I do enjoy that. I am finding though, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or I don't play them as much, but it's hard. It's harder for me to get into like fast-paced FPS nowadays. Like I like tactical stuff. Like Cash was talking about Wildlands, that he and I both played that together a very long time, and so yeah, open world. Uh, Fallout games, dude. Oh man,
Yeah.
Fallout, good old Fallout. So yeah,
Yeah, Fallout's
that's
one that I actually didn't know anything about until Fallout 4, and that's when I first started getting into Fallout. Was when that came out, and I was like, I'll check it out and see what it's like because it seemed
yeah,
interesting from the trailer, and I
yep,
got hooked on Fallout after that. And I
yep,
just, oh man, playing that game was
yep.
awesome. I wanted to go check out all the older titles after that. They had a big Fallout sale on Steam, so I had to get all of them. So, but
Right.
yeah, that no, I'm kind of surprised because actually, when I don't sit on here and play games with you guys, I'm normally an FPS kind of guy. played a lot of close combat,
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield,
Mm-hmm.
um, Tom Clancy. There's a game that the Army developed. What was America's Army?
America's Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played that for probably a good year or two. I
You
played
remember?
that.
You remember SOCOM,
Yeah.
Yes. I played
dude?
SOCOM on PS2.
Yeah.
Yep, me too. That's old school right there.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, and I think we had this discussion too. Is we have different handles and stuff like that for different games. My MMO handle is Orchid, but when I play FPS or anything battle related, I'm always Private Dirtbag. People are like, "I don't want to call you Dirtbag." I'm like, "That's my name. You got to call me Dirtbag."
That's awesome.
So yeah. No, that's cool, man. Yeah, and that's the thing is like we're so used to playing certain games together and stuff like that. I never knew that Jibbs was into FPS. I just
Oh, dude, that's my bread and butter when
there,
I'm not playing this stuff with Cash.
yeah. No, that's
Well,
awesome.
he's getting arthritic fingers now as he ages. So
Wait, I thought he was young, so he should be getting that already.
I'm a strapping young lad.
No, it's funny too, because like all these games that we've played over the years together through Mog and in other avenues, we've somehow kind of taken our time apart. We played different games, but we always end up together playing something. And
right.
and I know Ark was one of them that got me back into Mog because Scuba Steve and Jesus and some of the other guys created a server, and I was playing on there with them for a very long time. Um, and then I kind of got away from it when they started adding too much content, and I was like, it's taken away from the original game. But then
Hmm.
I saw how much crap they're adding, and then I was like, okay, I gotta play it again. So,
Hmm. Right.
all right, so we're gonna go into the part that I'm sure Cash is gonna love and Jibbs is gonna love, but I'd like to get to know more about Elder Scrolls, and who better to ask than you guys. So I'm gonna ask Jibbs first because I know Cash has a million things to say. But Jibbs, what is your favorite piece of lore, either out of Elder Scrolls Online or the whole entire Elder Scrolls universe?
Mm.
What's one of your favorite pieces of lore that you've either had on the podcast or have learned on your own?
Dark Brotherhood. Because I that's polar opposite of me in real life,
Oh
and
yeah,
I've mentioned that a whole lot on the shows. Is on Lore Seekers is whenever I game, I tend to gravitate towards the polar opposite of my personality, and so for me, being a assassin that's just out killing everything and doing whatever I want is like it's like a release for me. So Dark Brotherhood, 100%. They freaked me. It's like we've been on this journey together, the Dark Brotherhood and I. Like when I started in Oblivion, they freaked me out. I couldn't do the whole quest line. It freaked me out so bad. And and so then I took to killing vampires. Well, later on, as time progressed and got into Skyrim, I actually did most of the Dark Brotherhood quest line, if not all of it, in Skyrim. I think at one point, I really don't remember. But when ESO rolled around, I was super stoked to get back into it and to play it again. And so, yeah, I would say for me, Dark Brotherhood. Now, Cash, I don't know where he's gonna go, but
yeah.
I'd say Dark Brotherhood for me.
Let's see it, Cash. What is it?
I I hate to sound super boring, but it's the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Yep, I've had some really good memories playing through the Dark Brotherhood quest line late at night when my family's gone to bed and I'm in here just single player gaming in this very dungeon, and I turn the lights down and just completely immerse myself. And I would be remiss if I didn't say there were a few times that I was freaked the hell out. Just like, oh my god, that is freaking creepy. But yeah, there's some really sinister gameplay there, and
Yeah,
particularly in Oblivion, playing through that, and then the installments all the way through Skyrim, playing through that content has been some of my favorite Elder Scrolls gameplay for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going through, I think actually I would have to say the Thieves Guild. It wasn't that interesting when I first started it, and I wanted to do it merely because you get that merchant at the end, and that was the whole point I started it. But going
Right.
through the storyline and learning about the Thieves Guild and all of that, that was the first one that I really got into because I mean I'm still pretty new to I'm still pretty new to Elder Scrolls, and like one of the first quests that I did was in Vivek City. I went through and did that. That was pretty intriguing to me. But when I started doing the Thieves Guild, I got drawn in by the storyline and learning about the characters that they highlight and everything. So that one for me was probably my favorite one so far. I still got to finish Dark Brotherhood, but I don't know. It's nice to go out and go stabby stabby people, but I like the sneaking around and trying to, uh, you know, well, basically sneaking around the entire time because that's all you do is
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
crouched.
that's one of the best ways to play through Elder Scrolls games. And then, like for me in Skyrim, getting the Nightingale's armor, that was a big moment for me because that to me is the coolest freaking armor in the game. It is so awesome looking. And once I got that, I was like, oh my gosh. And my character was already, actually, every character in Skyrim I've ever played has almost always maxed out in sneak.
Yeah,
So it's like, it makes killing, especially from a distance with a bow, so easy that that became like the way I play Elder Scrolls single player games
yeah.
for sure. Love it.
And we know that with Jibbs, his favorite thing and probably the skill he maxes out in is lock picking because I mean the man just
Yeah. Do you want to
absolutely.
address that here? Do you just want to talk about it? You're
I had
opening the
I
can.
had to start it. I had to start it. We gotta.
Right. Well, I'm just going to talk about it. I'm gonna derail your show here for a
All
second.
right.
So you always rib, all of you rib me about lock picking and beta rays. If you're in here, let me just say this: I hate you right now. I started playing ESO, and I did the one thing you really shouldn't do the first time you play an MMO. I didn't pay attention to tutorials at all. And this was, like what, 4 years ago. Um, and so it came to lock picking, and I was doing it backwards. So the way I was doing it was I was holding down the mouse button, and then I was spamming E, just spamming the crap out of it. Because I'm like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it, right? This is how you open these locks.
Yep,
And
that's
then
it.
and then and then the day that I realized something was wrong is not even kidding you. When I saw that Cash opened a chest faster than I could.
There's no way. No way Cash is better than me at
I'm
this.
I'm like there's something wrong.
I'm
What am I doing
smashing
wrong?
that EK so
And
fast.
and then Cash is making a comment like, "Gee, you taking a while there." I'm like, "Bro, I'm really trying."
It's a
Mind you,
simple lockpick.
it was like a simple chest, and I'm smashing that E button. And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, why can't I get this?"
Oh,
And
my
so
cheeks
I
hurt.
learned my lesson, and now I can effectively open a chest,
Yeah.
no matter the difficulty. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we laughed. We laughed quite a bit because he said, "Oh, that's how you do it." I didn't know that's how you do it.
and then it
And
followed
still
with,
to this day, it doesn't matter what chest is in front of him. He will wait until somebody else opens it.
"Yeah, I'll just stand back, like you do you, man.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
go ahead."
I picked enough locks. You guys, you need to
Yeah,
practice. So
I'm good. I got my practice.
yeah. No, and that's one of the things playing with these guys. I love playing with these guys. Is that, we were running groups together before Lore Seekers and just having a fun time playing and ribbing on each other and stuff like that. I'm well known for the guy that runs in before the tank and starts pulling enemies. And
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the Dungeon Etiquette Lore Seeker podcast was based off of me.
You're pretty right. You're pretty right.
Yeah, yeah. So if you listen to that episode,
Oh man.
basically replace the person in your group with Orc-eyed every single time, and You know exactly what they're talking about. But
But you've come so
I
far.
have, I have. I've tried so hard to try and let Jeff tank, but you know, it just too frustrating for me to wait for him. So, we'll mash on Jeff while he doesn't have a chance to defend himself here. All right, so we're running a little long. I wanted to cut this off at an hour, so if you guys are good with it, maybe we'll plan a time to have you guys come back on. We'll dig deeper into Elder Scrolls and doing other things, and you know, just being able to chat like this. It's quite fun for me.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
All right.
This was fun.
Sure,
All right, guys.
absolutely.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in on the Twitch stream, and check us out every Monday night. I'm gonna showcase a new person. Next week, right now, I have Spin. So if anyone knows Spin from Lore Seekers Guild, he is one of the leaders and admins within the guild, and I will have him on next week. He's a great guy. I absolutely love hanging out with him, and he is the epitome of real life before gaming. I mean, that guy has it
Right.
all together. I think all of us can agree. We bow down to him when he talks about his wife and his family and everything. It's just, I don't even compare.
When Spin speaks, people listen.
Yes,
He's
exactly.
a good man.
He preaches the word of family very well. So,
Right.
did you mute your mic, Jibbs? I don't hear you now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking to the barmaid from the show.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so thanks again, guys. I appreciate you coming on. I think this was a good first round. I got some things to work on, like the background.
Dude,
uh,
I'm telling you, just rub a little whiskey on their gums and then they'll go right to sleep.
yeah, there we go. Oh man, no, this is awesome. I loved it, and I think this was a good first episode. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me, guys, and
Hey, our pleasure, man.
appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot.
Right on.
All right,
Dilly dilly.
bye everyone.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly freaking dilly.